Hey, what's up everybody? Prospector here with Watcher of Realms. Today we'll be checking out this article right here. It's the limited exclusive tier list on prospector.gg. This is of my opinion, it's purely subjective. We're gonna go over some strengths and some weaknesses and give you the top 11 exclusive heroes. But anyways, without further ado, let's dig in. Alright, so first things first, the reason we're going over this, let me get back here. You come over here, we go to game news. We have the Frostfall Jamboree event going on. You might be watching this later on. I'll stand by my tier list no matter what, and even update it over time. But we have the time limited summoning event that we're going to be doing. The exclusive heroes return. You're going to be able to select whatever limited exclusive hero you want, and within 200 summons on that banner, you're going to be guaranteed to get that hero. After you get that hero, the banner is going to switch over to a 20 times rate up for that limited exclusive hero as well. So you can just keep summoning on that banner and try to get more awakenings for that hero. But once you lock it in, it's stuck onto that hero. All right, this is going to be what it looks like. You basically select your limited exclusive. And today what we're going to be doing is going over the top 11 limited exclusives in order from 11 down to 1. If you head over to prospector.gg, you can see this right on here as one of the articles, and you can kind of go over it. There's also a description there. I'm not going to go over that fully today. We're just going to go over the rating, some strengths and weaknesses, and then awakening dependencies. As far as the descriptions go, I put some work into them. If you want to check them out, go ahead over there and read it up. Anyways, we're going to head over here. You're going to be able to click on this featured articles. It's going to bring you to the exclusive hero tier list. And I'm going to scroll way down to the bottom. We're going to start at number 11. So let's get started. Number 11. Dalia. Dalia has a long-range AoE, blossom traps, ally buff utility. She does bring in some rage and I think some attack speed as well. Poisons and strong crowd control, some slows and stuff like that. She also has very high burst damage when her ultimate goes off, exploding her blossoms. Some of the weak points is no anti-air, is a very odd attack range, special map awareness, and very niche placement / usability. These three here kind of all go in line with each other. The problem here is that her skill range is absolutely stupid. She goes on a platform and she's got a straight line. So how many platforms do you think there are in the game where you can go on a platform and go in a straight line and then hit targets as they're coming in? They kind of turn, sometimes they weave, sometimes they're on the side. You know, it just kind of sucks, to be honest with you. Otherwise, she's pretty decent. I also want you to keep in mind that just because she's listed as number 11 doesn't make her bad. She's a great hero. She's very good for progression and all those things like that. She's doing a lot of magic damage. Awakening dependency is going to be a medium, and she's going to be a mage cultist doing magic damage. Now we're going to move on to number 10, Captain Reve. He is a defender cultist. He also does magic damage, and he has consistent crowd control, AoE stuns, self-healing during his ultimate, strong tank, and a strong DPS. I would say he's not as good of a tank as he is as DPS. Even though he's a defender, don't let that fool you. Put him in the Soulbonner kind of set with high attack, high crit damage, high crit rate, all that good stuff. That amazing area of effect damage. Weak points is going to be crowd control dependent. He's a cultist. Of course, he's going to have more damage if he's under a cultist lord. And he's also going to be doing more damage if they have some kind of crowd control on them. It's not a pure tank. You know, if you could put him in there, you could put him as a defender if you want to, build him as a high HP tank, and he can kind of hold stuff off and just kind of offer you that crowd control and not really worry about the damage as much. But as far as like really taking some damage, he's not going to do that for you. It's going to be a mediocre tank, really good DPS is where we're going to be limited here. Ultimate focused damage windows. I see that's have a spelling error in there, but ultimate focused damage windows. When he's not in his ultimate, he's kind of just flinging his chain around, hitting one target, you know, building up rage until his next ultimate comes. So when he's not on the ultimate, he's not doing much for you. That's just how it is. Limited with anti-air. Also, his awakening dependency is like awaken level 3. You'll be happy with him at A0, especially early to mid game. You can use him in a lot of places, but it does help to have that awaken level 3 unlocked. Number 9, Lady Mina. Now you can't select her in these special exclusive pick banners per se because she is going to be a limited exclusive plus a collaborated exclusive hero. She was part of the Dracula event, and unless they decide to run the Dracula event again, you're probably never going to be able to pick her up. But I do have her as number 9. She does earn her spot a little bit higher than some of the older ones. Strong points can be strong crowd control, vulnerability debuffs, unique dual bond skill. She's bonded with 2 different heroes, which is kind of cool. She also has one of the best immobilized state debuffs in the game. Her ultimate goes off, she continuously puts that off, and those guys just can't move for 3 seconds. They're just completely stuck, so it's kind of cool. As far as weak points go, she has limited uptime outside the ultimate, low damage output coming out of Lady Mina. She's not going to be doing a ton of damage for you. A limited exclusive collab hero as well, which means that a lot of people just can't get her. Awakening dependency is Awaken level 3. The A1 will help boost Dracula, but the Awaken 3 is going to help her out a little bit more. Oh, and she's also a mage from the North Throne Piercer faction, so she can also extend her range a little bit. With the Piercer faction, she's doing magic damage. Falcia, this one might be a little controversial. We're high place her. Some people really love her, some people really hate her. I'm one that like her, but I just don't use her. That's where I kind of sit with her. Really high attack speed. She has that specialized attack speed, so it scales a lot faster. Her attack interval comes way down a lot faster than most heroes, based on how much attack speed points you put in there. She has that assault stack mechanic with combo burst windows when she's doing her ultimate. The more she hits, the better she does. Weak points is she's sustained reliant on offense. So if she's not hitting stuff, she's not stacking damage, and she's not putting up shields on herself. So when a unit just kind of comes into her range, all of a sudden that damage she's going to be doing is going to be a little bit lower than if she was like consistently hitting a single target or a boss or an elite or something like that. Needs constant shields. Her shields help her do more damage, help keep her alive, etc, etc. She's very awakening reliant at awaken level 3. She scores a medium score there. And she's going to be a fighter from the North Throne and Esotericist faction. Her recent buff actually added her to the Esotericist faction, and I think that was a good plan for them. It was a good decision. She's also bringing that damage reduction debuff as well for bosses, and it's always essential in most cases. And she's also doing normal and magic damage. She does dual damage, physical and magic. And that can be a pro and that can be a con. So if you're going up against something that has high magic resistance, you're talking about Abyss 1 people usually think about. The truth is that when you go against the physical version of the dragon, basically you're only doing the magic damage, so her damage is still scaled down by half. Then you go to the magic dragon, her damage is scaled down by half on that side, so she loses half of her damage because the other one, vice versa, can't do any damage during that phase of the dragon. So kind of sucks in a way, but you know, she's still a very cool hero. If you put her up against Nightmare 4 or APOC 2, APOC 1, she does phenomenal damage. Then we'll go on to number 7. This is going to be our, you know, I guess maybe dominant Lust, right? So strong points is going to be attack speed and rage regen synergy. She does go very fast. She does really good with more attack speed. She also has multi-strike ultimate, so she's good for things like the Styx boss. Her ultimate is going to hit 4 to 6 times based on your awakenings. Awaken level 5 unlocks 6 hits. Then she has massive single target physical damage. She's a boss killer, that's what she's meant for. Weak points is friendly fire risk. She does kind of whip her allies into shape, giving them some more rage regen so they come back to their ultimates a little bit faster, but at the same time, I think it's like a 5 to 10% HP loss every time she hits them. So if you don't have a sufficient enough healing going on or survivability going on, you could end up causing their death. Awakening and bond dependent. Lust is extremely awakening and bond dependent. She needs the awaken level 3 plus. I would definitely say going for the awaken 5 is worth it. It does make a big difference. But the awaken level 3 is where her damage really starts to scale high. Now she also is bonded. Without that bond skill, her damage drops significantly. And she's not good in AoE content. One of the most kind of power crept legends that we have in the game, to be honest with you, for the longest time, Lust was the go-to. You go put your Lust and your arrogance on the team, and you had a nice high score no matter what you were doing compared to others. But now with the release of Kiri and Wukong, heroes like this, as Lust has really fallen off and her stats just don't kind of match up high enough to do significant damage anymore with the newer content. She is a fighter of the Nightmare faction, which does help her out a lot. Nightmare faction is very, very usable, and she does normal damage. On to number 6, Gwendolyn. Recently buffed. This hero is really good. She's going to be technically a healer class, but she's not doing any heals, as one of her weak points is low to 0 heals. niche role. She's offering a lot of shields, a lot of protection, a lot of vulnerabilities here. The shields are just unmatched. I don't think anybody puts out bigger shields in the game than Gwendolyn. At the same time, she's just not healing, so you do have to bring a healer alongside of her. That being said, if you can do that, well, most of us can, she could literally replace a damage reduction hero like Fercy or Narissa by bringing out these massive shields and being used at the proper times. But yeah, part of the Northern faction. She does magic damage. Very niche role though. Shields are kind of niche. They're becoming more common. I'm thinking that Gwendolyn might make a place into Matrix 1. Zerbis. Alright, we're getting to the top 5, and now we're just hitting Moriden. And we might get, like I said, a little more controversial as we get up here. Moriden is a tactician, Nightmare faction, Esotericist faction, doing physical and normal damage. Strong points is exceptional single target burst damage, so when he does move into the enemy's range and decide to slam them, those initial hits are just massive. He does a ton of damage. He does have that displacement, which means you can move around the map, so early game stuff, campaign stages, things like that, it's very useful. Defense, penetration, as well as built-in rage regen buffs. Weak points, no AoE content, no anti-air. Awakening and bond dependent. The bond dependent here is the really big one. The A3 awakening is like, yeah, it does help him with the rage regen, help him move around a little bit more often. Then you look at the bond dependency, and the reason that it's such a big deal with him is that his bond is a exclusive ancient hero. We're talking about Valara. She's a very hard hero to get, but she does unlock incredible abilities for him by being bonded with him. And that's why I put so much on that bond dependency for Moriden. Okay, on to number 4. We have Anora. And I think Anora and Moriden are kind of like similar. I would say that their awesomeness, if you would, are about equal. You could prioritize an Anora or you could prioritize a Moriden, and I wouldn't be surprised with whatever one you chose. Some strong points with her though is AoE damage, huge ultimate spike damage window. When she activates her ultimate and Labor comes down and hits like a nuke, man. Whatever's in her wake is going down. Sanctity, immune to most buffs and debuffs. This could be placed in both the strong points and the weak points. She can't take inspiration buffs, so any kind of buff to her damage, things like that, coming from other heroes isn't going to work. But also she's immune to debuffs as well, so she can't take poisons or anything like that, or freezes, whatever, you know, can happen in the game. That being said, Anora can out DPS a Comet with a Dolores or Diaochan, and she can do it without any other buffs. She doesn't really need the inspiration, there's just that much damage coming in. Summon Synergy, she does buff allied summons as well, so that's kind of cool. Weak points is weak against air. The Noxious Breath deals half damage. Not really a huge weak point, but it is a bit of a weak point. Value dip versus single targets. She doesn't scale well against single targets coming through. You usually take them out anyways, she's doing enough damage anyway. But yeah, medium awakening dependency. The Awaken 3 really unlocks a lot of her abilities. She is a mage of the Cultist and ESO faction, makes her very useful in both with all the slows, and also she can use that rage regen for that extra burst damage coming in from Labor. There's more nukes, you know, and she's doing magic damage. I love myself Anora. She's a great hero. I use her all the time. All right, now boom, we're into the top 3. Number 3, I have Diaochan. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, she should be number 1. She should be number 1. I don't agree. And I'll explain that as we get through the top 3, but I don't want to ruin anything quite yet. Diaochan is an amazing hero though. She's usable everywhere. She's an inspiration unit, which is one of the most sought after buffs in the game. Kind of like one of the most required buffs in the game. She has a multi-form of going offensive and defensive. She has Song of Sorrow and Serenade of Hope. Song of Sorrow is going to offer the inspiration and penetration increase, while Serenade of Hope is going to offer more damage reduction and some healing. And then weak points is that there's many alternative options. And this is why Diaochan kind of gets the kick down to number 3 from me. It's not that she might not be the best at what she does. It might not be that she's killing 2 birds with 1 stone, whatever. She is replaceable. Very replaceable. You can use Dolores, Beelzebub, Constance. There's how many inspiration units are in the game? There's so many options that you can use for that. As far as damage reduction goes, we got Narissa, we have things like Gwendolyn, we have things like Or up here, you know, some of the tanks, you activate the ultimates, the damage reduction goes up on the heroes around them. All kinds of options for that. It is very good though that she can move back and forth, but as far as like priority for getting her, it's not as high as the other two on number 1 and 2, and that's why I put her here. Awakening dependency is nice and low though, so if you are early game and you don't ever think you're gonna ever make one of the other heroes A3 and A5, she might be your number 1 choice, and I would understand that. She is a healer of the Watcher in Infernal Blast faction, and she has the magic damage type. Alright. The ultimate showdown here. Gonna be number 2 with Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong barely ever matched by any other hero in the game. As far as what he does, he's one of the best at it, right? His strong points are gonna be guild boss. Guild versus guild, he's awesome in GVG defenses. Single target content, you know, he's one of the best. Weak points is high awakening dependency. So he is going to need that A5 to really unlock all that potential you see in all those videos. The A3 is not going to do it. The A1's not going to do it. The A4 is not going to do it. But when you get to that A5, you just see a massive spike in damage. It's massive, massive difference. And that's why I have his awakening dependency so high. Going to be a single target only. That doesn't mean he can't take down a couple of enemies coming through, but he's not going to be as good as many other heroes. He's not really an AoE hero in general. He's also has no anti-air. He's a fighter for the Nightmare and Watcher faction, 2 great factions, and he's doing normal damage. And then we can just scroll up for the next one. That's going to lead us up to our main event here. It's going to be Kiri. Now, a lot of you will put Sun Wukong above Kiri, and I'm just not going to agree with you, and you don't have to agree with me. Again, this is just purely on our own opinions. But that being said, there's a few reasons I want to explain why I think Kiri is number 1. Well, first off, he's the first unit I always look to place, because if I can place him, I'm going to destroy whatever he's got going up against him. Number 2, he has invulnerabilities. Basically, when he sheathes his sword, nothing can take him out. Nothing. He's just going to take a hit. You know, he can take more hits after that and get taken out, but until then, if he's sheathed, he's not easy hit. Basically, a built-in invulnerability. He's one of the strongest heroes against guild bosses, or the strongest hero. I've proven this time after time or time after time again. If you play Apocalypse 2 properly, and you use Kiri when you should use Kiri, and you're not just letting him sit there and then using Sun Wukong's ultimate over and over again, Kiri will be number 1 by a good 20 to 30%. My score of 500k, if you're sitting down at 200k and you're going to educate me about who's better at Kiri or Sun Wukong, I just don't really want to hear it. But anyways, my score of 500k puts Kiri and Sun Wukong at the top, both over 1 billion damage. We'll have Kiri up over 1.2 to 1.3 billion, sometimes even higher. And then we'll have Sun Wukong kind of just following next up in line at like 1 to 1.2. If you use them right? That's the key ingredient here. If you're using them right, your Kiri should be on top. If you're not using them right, your score will be lower because you didn't play it right. Alright, AoE content, single target content, hitting single target enemies. He's just phenomenal. He's doing these bleeds, puts out these bleeds, helps with the physical damage from all the allies that are on the team. He's also hitting one of the hardest hitting heroes in the game. As far as AoE content, it's the same scenario. If you can get an AoE hit off on a group of enemies coming in, he's going to delete them. There's not been a piece of content yet. I don't even think it in Matrix until way later on throughout the fight where he can't do a swipe and clear that whole group of enemies coming in. Kiri is king. Weak points though, no anti-air, and he has a medium to medium high awakening dependency. You can get away and be happy with an awaken level 3 Kiri. It does unlock the enhanced attack from Sweeping Strike and Ember Strike. Awaken 5 makes that Tranquil Reflection and Swallowtail, I believe what it's called, is being guaranteed. There's like a 50% chance or something like that when you're Awaken level 3 to get that Swallowtail to hit, which is basically he's going to go out, he's going to hit the targets, and he's going to come back, and on the way back he's going to hit them again. He's doubling his damage every single time he does a Sleeping Strike or an Ember Strike. This is essential for maximizing Kagiri's damage, but you can kind of get away with it at Awaken level 3. A lot of people are really happy with his A3. But I still suggest going to the A5, so it's hard for me to say if he's a medium or a high awakening dependency. Again though, he's going to be a fighter for the Watcher and the Nightmare faction, doing normal physical damage. Pairing those two together is a very good idea. Putting Wukong and Kiri on the same team is just going to delete things. Now, there's something I do want to mention is that the awakening priorities for the two, because that might be something you guys are battling from time to time. I'm gonna break it up just really simply. Kiri's awaken level 3 beats Wukong's A4. Wukong's A5 beats Kiri's awaken level 3. Kiri's awaken level 5 beats Wukong's awaken level 5. So that's where it kind of stands. So that's why I say work on your Kiri starting off, get him to awaken level 3, and start working up your Wukong up to the A5 if you want. Maybe come back to your Kiri and work it up to the A5. Or just go balls to the walls for A5 Kiri and just be super happy about it forever. You'll place them wherever you possibly can. Anyways guys, that's all I have for today's video. I hope you found it helpful. Don't forget, you can go in there and check out this tier list yourself. You can critique it as much as you want. You can argue with me down in the comment section. In fact, go ahead and post your top 5 limited exclusive heroes down there in the comment section. I would love to see what your guys' lists are. I like to read the other opinions. Also, don't forget, we do have a Christmas ties event going on right now. I do update these whenever there are tile market events going on. And I do get a 5% kickback from Smile1 when you make purchases of the bundles, or if you're a new user within the first 30 to 60 days, I think. We do have the Frostfall Lucky Draws, and I do come in here. I'm going to give you the price. I'm going to give you what your price is going to be with a 10% discount. I'm also going to give you the estimated actual value and how much you're going to be saving on those, as well as any of these chain bundles. I'm going to give you the total cost and the total value, breaking them down from each chain. And I do totally appreciate all of your guys' support. It helps me keep the website going, helps me keep the channel going, and helps motivate to keep videos going. Anyways guys, that's all I have for today's video. I hope you liked the tier list. Hope you liked the video. If you did, like and subscribe. Leave a comment down in the comment section down below. Join prospector.gg. Hit me up on Discord. Don't forget that you can join us on Discord and have full discussions. There's good 1,300 members in there. They're very helpful, very kind. Anyways, I've been the Prospector. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep digging.